business.
Really?
Yes. So
Okay. I don't know my city that well. You tell me about it.
that is the difference. LA, everybody's in the biz. Atlanta, everybody has a business. So Atlanta, they got the business cards, they're prime, they're ready, and there's some go-getters. But just I think the vibe of LA is what was my favorite part. I always go to Runyon Canyon, and then I get me some chicken wings from Kai Chung over in Koreatown.
You don't seem like a Runyon Canyon kind of, well, then anybody can be a Runyon Canyon hiker.
Yeah. Oh no, that's my number one go-to place to get a mental to clear my mind.
Just like
that's
space
my
out
number
and stuff
one
like
place
that.
to go to. Going in again, I'm from Philly, right? So
right.
Dogs have to be on a leash. You don't typically see dogs not on a leash, and when they aren't on a leash, they're sniffing you, they're all up in your business.
So you say in LA they're often not on the leash.
Not on the leash.
Well, the West is different. Arizona, same thing. People just keep an eye on their dog. There's more room. There's more. But Philly is more like New York, like an East Coast city. So you have more congestion. You can't just let everything run around. You can't just let your dog and cat or whatever run around because you have more congestion. So you have more.
Well, it's a different
responsibility.
It's a different energy.
Yeah.
Like the dogs are aggressive on the East Coast. On the West
really?
Coast, the dogs are.
So what do you feed them? What do you guys feed them on the East Coast that makes them more aggressive?
I think it's the energy. Like there's nothing like being kissed by the California sun. Right.
Okay.
So
it just makes you up, like,
you're happy, it's sunny. Like on the East Coast, you're talking about 6 months. It's cold, it's rainy, it's you don't know what the weather's going to really bring you. So I mean, we get a good mix of all 4 seasons, but it's not summer all year round. You gotta, it's a different environment, different life. And I mean, an area I love my city, I love where I come from, but being on other sides, being in being in Austin is Pleasantville.
Really? So 100%. Have you been to the other cities, Dallas and Houston? Have you been to the other cities?
So Dallas, I've been to Dallas and Houston twice. Texas is extremely big.
It is. It's huge.
Yeah. So from Austin to Dallas is 3.5 hours. Austin to Houston is about 3.
So you've been to both?
Not to kind of sightsee, not really to do much,
Which did you find to be the most similar to? See, the thing is, I've only been to I haven't been to Austin yet, but I've been to both the other. Which do you find the most similar to Austin? Neither. So Austin has its own personality completely. That's really weird.
I would say, okay, Dallas is comparable to LA.
Okay.
Right. The look, the sex appeal, you don't go out, you don't see many people in Dallas that in certain areas, right? You don't see them not dressed. Hair's done, you're,
they're into business too. They're into being businessy too. And they're into showing off a little bit too. So that's LA.
Like I'd say a Tempe to Scottsdale, right? Like Scottsdale,
you do know Phoenix well. You're right. Tempe Scottsdale people are into showing off.
So that, right? Like, you kind of get those different, like you can just look by the area, the location where you're at, and kind of just see, the way people present themselves. They, so Dallas is more pretentious. Houston is, I don't have a good word to describe Houston.
It seems like a hodgepodge. Like it could be like, you have the hipster type of people, you have the really, like, I don't want to say ghetto, but you have the really, really like something else kind of people. And then it's more of a Houston's more of a hodgepodge.
Yeah, I wanted to say flavorful, but I didn't think how that would be.
Yeah.
But yes. Yeah, so
it has many characters depending on whatever. Yeah. Where Dallas has one character, you're supposed to care about being successful. You're supposed to care about,
and you see
church. I don't know.
And you see it. You see it. You see it. It is a
Well, it's
whole
also the
different
business
environment.
capital of a lot of big companies. You know,
Mhm.
Dallas has the business capital of a lot of big companies. So it just has that like, and you get that feeling like you drive around on their freeways and, you know,
And
you
you see
see
all
like,
of it.
yeah, you see the skyrise, you see the you know, the headquarters of really everything. So of course
Mhm.
so that gives it like a more, you know, like a focus in that kind of direction.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And now Austin is very homegrown and local.
Okay.
So you kind of start your business in Austin
Mhm.
as like from the restaurant side. They say you started in Austin. It's very small, local supported, but you groom it and grow it to Dallas.
Okay.
If it can make it from that transition, because Dallas is so franchise based and big
Mhm.
business and like that,
It's
like
so
it's
focused
but
on that. Uh-huh.
yeah, so but that's the difference, right? Austin's a big city with a small town vibe.
Austin's also seems like, is it really college feely, like very like youthful feeling because you guys have UT Austin there and you guys have,
So Texas is so damn big.
that's true. There's a lot of schools. There's Texas A&M.
Yes. Well,
There's
so you got to think, right? Downtown Austin is let me think here. So downtown Austin from where I'm at is 25 minutes.
Mhm.
But there are, like, what's happening in the Austin area is you have Austin and then you have the surrounding cities. So
Mhm.
you have Austin, Round Rock, Pflugerville, Hutto, Cedar Park, Leander.
Mhm.
So Austin's getting so flooded with new businesses, new, headquarters. Google's down there, Apple's down there.
They all want to be
Um,
there now because they're all frustrated with California.
the California taxes. California wanted to tax the wealthy, so this is what happens. The wealthy that are there, they're moving their businesses to other locations.
But not just the
Texas is
wealthy,
tax free.
the regular ones, the regular people move too. The regular people feel overwhelmed too
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because it's so expensive.
It's
So
so expensive
they're
there.
perfectly happy to just move to a suburb of Austin. They're like, oh yeah, well
Yep.
that would bring my cost of living way down.
Buying homes in cash,
And they're
like
buying
cash,
homes.
buying homes in cash. But
They're getting
so,
homes in cash.
yes,
Wow.
yes.
Wow.
It's
That
oh,
sucks for you
so
guys because it's gonna drive up the price for it's gonna drive up the prices for you guys. Everybody's like
oh,
offering.
I'm out here with my fiance. So we actually bought a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So the property went up 30% in that
Okay.
time frame.
Oh.
So, you're talking about, like, I mean, it's just so what's happening, it's starting to be gentrified in the
You're living
downtown area of
together
Austin.
without being married first.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, that's a whole nother conversation and long
Why
story.
does somebody's parents care? Does somebody's family care about that? Your family, her family?
No, no, we've known each other since we were 11. So
Oh.
this is like
Oh, that's
this sort
so
of the
cute.
yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
want to hear this love story.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
I don't care about that. I don't care about Texas anymore. So how do you end up with somebody you've known since you were 11 years old?
Hmm. I'll give you the quick track.
Yeah.
11 years old, baby sister. So I had a baby sister.
So your sister, she's your friend, your sister's friend. She's your sister's
No,
friend.
no, no. My baby sister was born. I
Oh,
have a younger sister, excuse me. Large gap, right, in age. Two
yeah,
younger sisters,
yeah.
11 years, 16 years.
Okay.
Her mother, my fiance, has a daycare that my mom took my baby sister to. So I
Oh,
met her at 11
oh,
through her
wow.
mom's daycare.
Mm.
So, phone conversations, hours. I mean, you're talking about middle school passing notes back and forth from two different schools. Summer times, I'm going to my best friend's house who lives across the street from her house. We're, waking up, as soon as my mom drops, my sister off, drops me off. I go to my best friend's when she's up, we're riding bikes together, that whole story. High school hits, she matured quicker than me. So
Okay.
that was our, let's say, quote unquote split. She went to another school. We started off in the same like freshman year. We were in like a class together the whole nine.
She went to another
But
university.
She went to high school.
Oh, different high school.
She
Okay.
went to another high school. So
Okay.
first year she left that high school early, goes to another high school. We
Okay.
kind of, still communicate, but not as much as what we used to,
Okay.
when we were younger, right? College, she goes to Hampton, I go to Shippensburg University.
Okay, so Hampton, the HSBCU.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, yes,
and then
yes, yes, yes.
you went to your school, South.
Shippensburg in Pennsylvania.
Is that a HS? No,
No,
that's just a school in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so my first year I went to Drexel University and then
Okay.
transferred to a state school.
Okay, it was cheaper.
Going to Drexel, it was it was too much city for me.
Okay.
I was expecting like a different college life, like the college like you see on TV, right? Like the
Okay.
dorm parties and
Oh, you wanted the dorm
campus
life, you wanted
parties
the TV college style life. And then
Yeah.
Drexel was just like smack in the middle of the city, so you didn't really like it.
It was smack in the middle of the city. Like Penn had a university, Drexel was literally in the middle of the city. So
Okay.
it just
So you didn't like
give
it.
me
Okay,
as
so
a-
you moved. Okay.
Yeah. So transferred out. I was an engineering student. Made it to the second term. The third term, I was like, look, I don't understand what I'm really doing, why I gotta learn physics, calc, chemistry, didn't have a mentor, basically. So I transferred my major to business management informational systems. And by that time, once I transferred out of engineering, it was really no point for me to be at Drexel paying that much money for an engineering degree or for a business degree when I
When
could,
you could just get it at
another.
the other university. So you moved to
Yeah.
the other university. And
Yeah,
did that go well?
Very well, very well, very well, very well. Finished out, ended up basically going to I'm from Westchester, Pennsylvania,
Okay.
directly. So I
Okay.
went to Westchester University for my master's. I'm 25, midway through my master's, and then
I thought you said you were 25 now. I was like,
No,
wow, you're still so young.
I was 25. I was midway through my master's. One of a childhood best friend, or my mom's best friend, but close friend from childhood, who happens to be my fiance's friend as well. Her mom turns 50. So on her 50th birthday party, we meet each other, we reconnect, and then through a series of 7 years of off and on cat and mouse, let's say, it finally got to the point where she got a job opportunity in Austin. And it was, I had two choices. It was, go or go.
So, go or go.
So
what is this what's this lucky lady? What is your favorite thing about her?
What's my favorite thing about her?
Tell me so you can make me jealous. Come on.
No. I'd say the difference in life at this time, right? It's always good to have somebody that's always on point. There's always so many things that you can miss and be blinded to, but to have somebody that's like vested in you and on point is key, but just the history, you go back, not many people can sit here and I can reflect on conversations at 11 years old, summer times, even in the
wired though. We don't have to know each other our whole lives to be compatible.
Well, no,
I think that's beautiful. I think that's beautiful, but we can't all have that.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not everybody has that, this is the 18 years old. I'm telling her, you're going to marry me. You're Miss Bowers, but she had another boyfriend.
But you were telling her back then that she was going to marry you.
Yeah, this is that story. This is not I'm talking probably my first girlfriend type story.
That's really sweet.
And in the gaps in the years, summer times we're hanging out, we're still, so there was, it was just, we weren't always around each other 24/7.
I get it. But essentially you grew up together, and there's a lot of history there that you guys can rely on in tough moments, and and be able to count on the fact that you guys as families understand each other, and you guys as families know each other well. And all those things are really helpful And she's like, as she's been able to be, sometimes when people grow up together, they kind of like, you know how it is, like maybe some of the people you grew up with didn't care about school as much as you did, and they didn't do anything with her, and they wound up in this situation. But it seems like with you guys, both of you have been really into kind of taking, pursuing goals pretty seriously. So that helps a lot too. That way
Mhm.
you don't feel like you chose somebody that you knew in fourth grade, but they're just dragging you or something. You know what I mean? Because
Right,
that can
right,
happen
right,
too.
right.
Because like, just because you grew up together doesn't mean you like, because
Mhm,
yeah. So, but it did seems like
mhm.
it played out in a good way for you guys. So that's really good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, that's really good. So it
That
seems
it's kind
like,
of one of those things. The older you get in life, you appreciate the relationships you've had.
yeah.
Especially the ones you can maintain, because it's not hard. It's not easy to maintain
Well, people
relationships,
can
right?
just grow apart too. Like I just said, you could end up just not caring about the same things as much. So life draws you in a different direction. What if she
Right,
had gotten pregnant at 13, 2 years after you?
right,
Well, not that
right,
that's a bad thing. Not that
right,
life can't change beyond that point, because I do know some people in that predicament who turned out to be amazing anyway.
right,
But,
right.
well, you know, because of family support and everything.
Hmm.
But I'm just saying, like, you could have just not like, because when you know people from that young, you could have ended up in different, but
One
you
hundred
seem like
percent.
you grew up with kind of the similar mindset. So when it all ended up working out, it all kind of was cool.
Yeah, yep, yep, yep,
That's very
yep.
good. Lucky you. So when are we gonna have babies?
Well, wedding is 10/2, so October
October
2nd.
2nd.
Yes, yes,
Oh
yes, yes,
wow.
yes, yes, yes. So we
Lucky
are,
date.
we
October
got
wedding is a lucky one.
yeah, yeah. Well, we were supposed to do it last year, but the pandemic.
Yeah.
So it was 10/3 last year, and
It was
then
supposed to be 10/3 last year.
yeah,
One
yeah,
of my
yeah.
best friends, that's her wedding anniversary, and they're like this. So I'll say
Mhm.
that's a lucky. I'd
Mm.
say like yeah, be like yeah. So yeah. So
Well,
so
that's why we're in Austin, and
yeah,
why we live together. This has been we've been it's been a long, 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 long,
long
long
journey.
journey.
Yeah,
Yep, long history, the whole nine. So
yeah.
you
Well, you
know,
guys seem really, really lucky, and that and your family seem really lucky too, because everybody's going to be so happy at that wedding. Everybody's going to be like, "Oh, it's you! Oh, it's you! Oh, it's you!"
well,
Right?
so that's the thing, right? We're still in this pandemic, so family is. I mean, we're still trying to figure out exactly how many people are going to come, and I mean, they're
Are you
just
still, so
now.
that's still a big deal? That's still a thing, just trying to arrange the guests because of everybody has to wear a mask and all that stuff.
Yeah, and you like, well, for me, I've been hearing most of the spreads are happening at like weddings and large family gatherings.
Yeah.
So
Everybody's hovering over food, everybody's hovering over drinks, everybody's hovering over each other and
yeah.
talking and sneezing and laughing.
Well, and you're like, if you're in a restaurant, it's okay, right? Because you're in a small group of people, there's
Yeah.
tables, you're not in that area too long.
Hmm.
But when you're around a group of familiar people, everyone comes in there, they have the mask on. And then all of a sudden, you get comfortable, the drinks start to flow, and then the mask
The
comes off
mask, people take the masks off and they're in each other's faces,
in
like,
each
oh
other's
my God,
face.
like really
Yeah.
close. And all you're
Mhm.
doing is germs, germs, germs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So and you think about it like, so personally, I think this is the experiment, right? We don't really know what's going to happen coming over in October, right? Because we don't know if the vaccine is going to need a booster. We don't know if you can mix J&J with the Moderna, the Pfizer. Like, we don't know if you can we don't know, like, just the history. Like, if you caught COVID, do you still need to take a vaccine? Like, when
Hmm.
should you take the vaccine?
Hmm.
The timestamps of how long, like, it's just so much unknown,
Hmm.
kind of putting us back out. The difference is that we have a vaccine to fight it, but like, it's not stopping the spread,
Hmm.
so the way I see it, it's wild, wild west. Your only protection is your mask, and if you don't want to wear it, then by all means, like, you're risking catching the spread, and when you really look at the news, the data, who it's really impacting, it's people that are high risk, so it's why, like, I keep myself in the gym, I have high allergies, so I always wash my hands, wash my face, I do all those type of things. So it's a tough one, right? But we'll see. But I know one thing. I don't want to catch it. So, whether it's a wedding, whether, we're starting to travel now. I'm the president of the National Black MBA Association, the Austin chapter out here.
What's Masters of Business Association? I'm sorry.
Masters of Business Administration.
Oh, Masters of Business
Administration. Yeah. So the MBA, Black MBA Association. So I'm the president of the Austin chapter here. Okay. We had our first event June 1st.
How was that?
It went really, really well. There's a Black-owned wine bar out here that we, stocked the whole bar with the wine. We had a Black-owned restaurant that is 5 minutes from my house. Food was amazing. But same scenario, right? Like, and I had white gloves, and it was a social masquerade. So I bought the N95 mask. I got white gloves so that, if you want to shake hands, just put a glove on and then, dispose of the glove.
And it's not a big deal.
And it's not a big deal. So, people came in, I think once they got comfortable, that's when the masks came off. But, I think that's where the people, like, you started, people were like, oh, well, I'm vaccinated, so it's okay. Right. So look, in my mind, I don't want to catch it, but it's a personal decision at that point where, I don't think that any of us in certain lights. So that was an invite only event. We rented out a venue that was an outdoor venue that it was a home, it was a mansion and it was an estate, excuse me. So basically rented out a venue that had plenty of indoor and outdoor space for people to kind of navigate. But once you get comfortable, I think that you automatically think that you're not going out, if you don't feel well. And if you're coughing, if you're sneezing, like, most Black people don't want to be around you anyway, so.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So I think, you kind of put those things together. And you tend
to not react not well to too much, like, it's like, damn, just like step over there already.
You got a bad look.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's I think we're going to have to navigate that way, right? And, I think if there's one thing that we all got to agree on, no matter what your opinion is for vaccination or not, right? We all got to agree that a pandemic or a viral spread can't shut down businesses. We're seeing an economy where, people are making more money sitting and being on unemployment than they are when they go out and work in these restaurants.
Yeah, it's kind of bad because it's like gonna screw up certain communities. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's gonna, like, I mean, I don't want to say that, like, I want certain community, like, like, especially like Black communities to focus on, like, keeping up their business and keeping up their hustle and keeping up their whatever, because it's a mindset, and I feel like if you get out of that mindset, if you get into the mindset of just like, getting into the whole, like, unemployment and stimulus thing, sometimes it's hard to yank out of, because we're all creatures of habit. Once we get used to doing things a certain way, we're not going to be as, like, driven and motivated to do things the other way, just because it's like we're just going to get used to being like, oh, whatever, and then the whatever will become the normal, and then we're not, that's what I think.
Right. Well, so the intention of those the unemployment, like, you're supposed to use unemployment to learn a new skill set. So
really? I've never heard that one before.
Yes. That's why when you look at it, they have access to other jobs, access to trainings for free. Like Pennsylvania, you can go to like a tech school for free. They'll pay for you to go to tech school until you get a job. So the purpose of those, because we know, I'm gonna go all college professor on you.
Oh, no, good. I was gonna ask you next about your classes, the classes you teach and everything. I was gonna ask
Yeah,
you about that next.
I'm gonna go college professor on you.
Go
So
ahead, go ahead.
economics, it's called negative externalities,
Okay.
right? For everything that's set up to do a good in society, there's
Mhm.
always somebody that's going to try to take advantage, right? So we know the people that take unemployment and that, they don't want to work, they're choosing not to work, but like, let's really think about those people, their lifestyles and what they're doing. To choose to live off of the government, it could be like there's just so many different reasons on why somebody would want to do that. But that's a budgeted that's a budgeted implementation into our financial system that allows our economy um, to stay thriving,
Mhm.
right? Imagine if those people that didn't work or that didn't make money, those people wouldn't be able to go to the grocery store,
Mhm.
right? So you think about, government supplies as far as, unemployment, you think WIC, you think food stamps, right? When you remove those things and take it away from people,
Mhm.
that affects you and I,
Mhm.
because that when you go into the grocery store and you buy milk, the owners and the business owners of that grocery store, they start to notice that, okay, well, because WIC is down and this got removed, my budget of how much is coming in per month is going I'm not making as much money. So they increase the things that are necessities, the eggs, the milk, by 10, 20, 30 cents, but that's where they make up their revenue out of that whole, a store of products. So, that I'd say I call it a stimulus to the public
Mhm.
is one, the intention for you to learn like another trade. So right now it's a big tech push. So most of those programs, they have some type of like training
Mhm.
during the daytime, or they give you a free, access to a university for you to learn technical skill sets. So when you talk about problems in our communities, think about the local communities that get quote unquote gentrified, right? Like most of the businesses, you got a poppy store around the corner. You have, the doctor's office, dentist is not far away. Like everything you need is right in that area, in that vicinity.
Mhm.
Well, if people are operating with businesses differently, I'm using Amazon Prime, I'm using DoorDash, I'm doing all these things, right? Um, as society transitions, as you're taking the worker that used to work at the restaurant now and telling them to go to the tech market or tech, technology, and learn a tech skill set, learn STEM, learn that. You can go, I'm pretty sure in Atlanta, most of the now hiring locations, I'm pretty sure it's restaurants. I'm pretty sure it's retail stores. Like that are all these are the ones that have the signs, but you told everybody to get a tech job. So that's the balance, right? And then you think about unemployment. The like Chick-fil-A here pays $15 an hour, right? Like that's what you have to get paid now to be able to sustain to some extent to pay rent, right?
Right.
So if you're not uh, 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 like if you could sit here and make a decision that, okay, I could work at this restaurant and then I could make tip, or I could go on unemployment and then learn this tech job and get me a $60,000 paying a year job.
Mhm.
Like you would make that decision to just go through that process,
Yeah.
you know. So it's just it depends on the system. I mean, there's even studies that say like um adversely, like college students, typically they should be the ones that take advantage of those benefits, but we don't, because we don't see ourselves as like needing assistance.
Mhm.
Like you go to college and you're like you just know you're going to be a broke college student until you're done. You'll
But
ball out
college
when you're
age,
done your
you're saying
degree.
that college age people should be the ones who take advantage of stimulus package and stuff like that.
Yep.
To do what?
support you through that
Oh, I
journey.
see what you mean. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like think about like my sister, she's in her program right now for her master's. But she's in social work.
Okay.
So they have to have like, 1,000 hours before they like some type of, so she's taking a 9-month internship where she's not getting paid. She has 2 children.
Wow.
Like, how do you
Why do that
survive?
with 2 kids? Why did she decide to do that with 2 kids?
Well, not that why did she decide? She was wise enough to save up enough money to basically be able to sustain for a year between her and her 2 children.
Yeah.
Generational wealth. I bought a house when I was 25 years old. She now lives in that house.
Oh,
So she
okay.
doesn't have to pay, 11, 12, $1,300. She candidly covers the mortgage, and the mortgage is way cheaper than what rent would be.
So
So
you bought
she
a
was
house
able
and you
to,
let your sister live in it. Was the house in Pennsylvania?
yep,
Okay, that's really cool.
yeah,
My sister, did the same, and she bought a house and I was able to live in it.
that's generational wealth. That's what they mean,
And I was
that
able to live in it.
now what our parents came up with, their grandparents had a house, but like
Mhm,
it wasn't you had your own location. You could
mhm,
just stay at grandma's house, you could stay
mhm,
at your mom's house, but you're living with a whole bunch of people.
mhm.
But the transition into this generation and passing down the wealth, like I said, I have a house that now my 2 sisters, 11-year and a 16-year gap. Like my youngest sister just turned 21,
Wow.
right? So like she's sitting here, she's waiting. She's like, look, when she moves out, I'm moving in. So even in that sense, it just, like it allows you to navigate, to have your own, to, you know, lower some expenses that in this market, if something goes wrong, your job furloughs you,
Y'all should keep that house. Then maybe maybe someone else in the family will need a house too.
oh yeah, that's my student loan payoff right there.
Yeah, that's your student loan
So
payoff.
yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah,
still
yeah, yeah,
paying
yeah.
off student loans?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Wow.
oh
From
yeah.
the
I
MBA or
told
from the bachelor's?
probably all of them all together.
Really?
Pre-consolidations, all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to Drexel, then I got my Microsoft. I'm a Microsoft certified systems administrator.
Okay.
So I paid for like a little tech training class.
You're just like doing
Um,
everything, aren't you? You just decided to just do everything.
I'm a lifetime learner.
That's
You know,
good. Everybody should
um,
be that way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. My new philosophy of life is, learn, learn, apply, and teach. So I
What
want
does
to
your
learn
wife
as
do? I mean, your
she
fiance.
soon to be. So I love it. I'll set the stake in the ground and claim it. Right.
Wifey.
Um,
So what does she do?
she is a senior director of human resources for a media company.
The
So
lady, that's
basically, like,
awesome. That's an
well,
awesome job for the lady of the house.
yes, 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 yes. So she's killing it in corporate America, and then I'm out here on the entrepreneurial journey,
And
teaching higher
professor,
ed and all that.
entrepreneurial and professor side.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
like it.
Yes,
You guys are
yes, yes.
great.
Mm-hmm.
So, so
So yeah,
what is like the next?
tell me about this opportunity. Tell me about what your plan is, and
Basically, I just want to have conversations. I want to have conversations like I'm having with you now,
Mhm.
with various people. You and me, I wanted like 5 total, or like that I talk to regularly, and then other people that I just talk to whenever. So
Okay, okay,
basically, and then I do the YouTube channel with it. So
okay,
basically,
okay.
I post these, and I label, and then depending on how good how the conversation can be great, but if I think that it's something that other people would really be into or would
Mm,
learn from, then I'll post it and try to really push it. And then
mm,
so it can get like views and likes and interest and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. It's just me
mm.
having converse. Sometimes I do posts that I do by myself where I just go off on a certain topic, but I like
Right,
this more because it's like, then it's just, like I can only take so much of me. I'm just kidding.
right, 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 right. Well,
So
that's the beauty of society today, right? Like today you have the ability just to connect with so many different people from different walks of life. It's a gift and a curse,
Uh-huh.
right? But you can simply post a small ad, and then just by lead generation, you meet
Yeah.
probably the coolest people around.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I just decide just find out who's out there and who has similar interests. And, you know, it's very cool to come across you. So yeah, so that's pretty much just it. Just having these conversations and sharing them.
Right,
That's the
right. And
goal.
and usually, like, what are the conversations about? Just what's going
So
on.
far I've been doing I haven't really like been doing a good job of sticking to the topic
Mhm.
instead, because a lot of it is first meetings lately. So first
Right,
meetings, it's like, oh, tell me about this. What's the difference between what this place you lived in that place? And then you get into like other, and then it's like, tell me more. Like it's just been getting to know you-ish. So
mm,
there's no sticking to topic. But I definitely think as
mm,
time goes on, I'll stick to topic more, and I'll
mhm.
definitely like tend to like focus on you guys' strengths. So knowing your
Right,
background, it's actually better this way. So going
right,
just talking in general and knowing your background more now, I'll know what when something occurs to me, and I'll be like, who should I have a chat with about this? Who should I post it?
right.
It's like, I know him. He'll be able to
Uh,
elaborate on this for me. Or
all
like, who should
right.
I have? Oh, I know her. She'll be able to elaborate on this for, so I totally will play to you guys' strengths and things like that. Not that anybody like, is required to be a super expert, but
Right,
whatever
right,
I
right.
think this woman has a background in and can like and can bounce off of the topic well, then that's who I'm gonna choose to talk to about whatever topic that is.
No,
Does
that
that
is
make
awesome.
sense?
No, that is awesome. That is
Yeah.
awesome. I think that's awesome, and pure genius.
Yeah,
Um,
just fun.
I when I look at the and I'll say anybody in social media just posting content,
Mhm.
right? It's hard to stay relevant, and
Is it?
then yeah,
Why?
because the audience defines you. Like, people define who you are and what they go to you for.
That makes sense.
You
So
know,
once you post a certain subject or certain arena a lot, then people latch onto you based on that subject,
on
and then
that.
you're kind of narrowed into that. Because if you branch out of that, then you lose those followers because they'll be like, well, why is she talking about this now? Well, why is he talking about this? This is not what I come to
Yep,
you for. This is not what I come to, right? And then they'll
yep,
move away. So
yep.
once they've like shown you that they love you for this, then you kind of want to stick to that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And when you talk about the mental effects of social media and what it has on just our individual personalities and all that, it's that immediate instant gratification culture that oh, they don't like this, they don't like me, oh, they don't, like it, or people are dragging me because I said this and I didn't, you can just become so, I think, attached to that, and it becomes a drug to a sense, right?
Honestly, this is gonna sound bad, but I feel like, especially like, you know, like us as Black Americans, I feel like we spend too much time just like picking apart. Like you just look up anybody, look up Tyler Perry, whatever. Like, oh my God, the amount of time people in like the Black community spend picking apart every God, it's insanity. So it's like I could
Mhm.
go for months like and not pay attention to that stuff, right? And then I do, and then I'm like, oh, I didn't miss much.
Right, right,
I didn't
right.
miss much. You guys are still up to the same, like,
Hmm,
you
hmm,
guys are still up to the
100%.
same, like, and why is he wearing that? What is that show? That smile he's giving, that just tells me that and it's like, oh my God.
Hmm,
You can ignore
hmm.
that stuff for 6 months and come back. It's like, I didn't miss much. It's the same thing.
Yeah, 100%, but to be able to have the freedom to kind of record, to pull off of relationship, and not so much of just, okay, this is what they wanted, or we need to talk about this, I need to put this up now, I need to do this now, I need, like, it, I
Mhm.
think it leads you a little different, right? Like, one of the first people that I started to follow on social media, right, like the big speakers, was E.T. What was it? E.T. the hip hop preacher or something like that. Eric Thomas, like he was homeless and then became a speaker, and like he had a lot of good high energy conversations in the very beginning. And after a year, you could see that his drive wasn't the same. Like it just looked like I couldn't imagine every day I got to yell and scream to motivate you. Like some days you just don't feel like doing that. Some days you don't, so then you have people that kind of start to play with technology, and they start to repurpose, repeat, rebrand, take this segment, take this clip here, and we'll put that there. But they lose authenticity with their audience.
Mhm.
Right. So like, there's this balance, and why I say that, the methodology that you're using is pure genius, because it's never going to allow you to really become bored. Like you'll be able to always be connected and have a great conversation,
That just
which,
means I'm being a little bit ADD or OCD or something. It doesn't really mean, I'm just kidding.
well, I'd imagine that you probably enjoy conversation.
Yeah. I really love I think that it's a chance for me not to just have small talk too, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
mean, how else am I gonna force a handsome man to talk to me for an hour and give me all this like really detailed information about his life? Am I really gonna walk up to you in a hotel like restaurant and have this? No, instead I'm gonna post an ad, and be like, this is a job. Have I paid you anything? No, you didn't pick up on that part, did you?
Not
No,
yet.
this was the
Not
way for
yet.
me to commandeer you to chat
Uh-huh.
with me. I'm just kidding.
No,
But
no,
um,
I
but
love it.
yeah,
I
no,
love
it's a
it.
great opportunity, because all I really just want to do is talk about issues and talk about what's going on in the community and the world and the whatever, and just tap into others. I don't want to just hear myself think or talk. I want to hear, I know that like this country has like so many, especially the Black community has a lot of brilliance that like doesn't get like heard. And I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from people I've never heard from before. I don't need to hear from the people who commandeer space. And I already know who those are, and I can listen to them if I feel like it. If I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about what's his name. What's he think about this? I can do that if I feel like it. But from you, like in Austin, I would never meet you or hear from you. So
Mhm,
I want to
mhm,
hear from
mhm.
just other people that I
Look,
wouldn't normally hear from.
what I find funny, I
That,
didn't know you were Black, and you didn't. Well, I mean, maybe you saw my name and thought
oh,
I was
you didn't
Black,
know
but I
that?
didn't know you were Black. I didn't know your name. So all you see is Craigslist like ad when you reply to the emails, because I replied to you through Craigslist. So and I had no idea.
I guess my first name is not that common for a Black American, but you know what? And it's common we use Bible names a lot in Nigeria. And my
Mhm,
last name is
mhm,
Yoruba. So
mhm.
you know any Nigerians?
Well, there's a lot of Nigerians. That's why you were in Houston.
There's a lot of Nigerians in Texas. Yeah, there's a lot of Nigerians in Houston. I've been, yes, that's true.
Uh-huh.
I was texting with one yesterday,
Mhm,
you know.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Yep, yep. No, I
Yeah.
have one of my yeah, I meet everybody. I meet a lot of Nigerians in Austin, um, just in general.
And
So
there's some in Dallas too, but I think the most of them are Houston and
they're in
maybe
Houston.
Austin and some Dallas, in
Yep,
Texas in general.
yep, yep.
There's a lot of Nigerians
But
in
no,
Texas.
I just replying through the ad, I didn't see your name. So
So
the
it
first
didn't
time
give you my name at all? It didn't give you my name
no,
at all?
the
Oh,
first time I saw your name was opening up the Zoom call.
that's so interesting. You know what? That means that a lot of my other guests never did not know who they were responding to either.
Hmm.
Oh, that's so cool. I love it. I love that but I'm some sort of surprise thing that they,
Hey, you don't know. It could be a panel. It could be, you just never know.
well, the thing is, I wanted to do panels too. So
Mhm.
basically, like not just me and another person, but actually like 4 or 5 of us at once. But
Mhm.
you can only get so. I'm gonna decide what topics to do that with and stuff. That may be even more fun because then I can really sit back and let you guys
Right.
like just,
Mhm.
I can really sit back and let you guys go and be like, I put all these radness
Right.
together, and be really
Right.
like,
Right.
yeah. So that would be a lot of fun too. But it's all kind of a gradual process. I'm just gonna like work it out and then see like what I can kind of build together. And then like, what kind of, sometimes it's hard. I'm still trying to decide a focus too, if I should kind of pick certain kinds of people, or I should let all you guys be random, or if I should like focus on people that are kind of similar, and then have other people be more like if like people I just call in when I want to go off topic a little bit or something off topic.
Well,
Do something like variety, do more variety or something. See, all that I can't decide. The only thing I want is just like, make sure that there's like, I'm getting enough men and women opinions and stuff like that. But as far as the background of you guys, I'm still working that out. That's still a
right. Well, I if you don't mind my suggestion, I would say be you, just authentic to you and your core. And
yeah,
what you
that's
feel.
what something's telling me too. Just be more intuitive about it. Just do whatever.
Yeah,
just be more,
yeah,
be more
because
intuitive and not formulaic.
this is the beauty about this day and age right now, right? You have the ability to truly, you have the ability to write your story. As far as when people Google you.
You do?
Yes. You pick the pictures on your social media. You pick the bio that you post. You pick the social medias that you are even active on. You pick your website if you have one, the blogs you write, the conversations you entertain. Like you can 100% craft your story for when somebody goes to Google you. And the first thing that happens when somebody meets you, if you've left them an impression, they Google you.
Yeah, I do that a lot. Like anyone that I like randomly, anyone that just even sends me an email, if I don't recognize them, one things I do, I just Google them. Yeah, that's true.
So, there's a balance between you have
I
to
Googled
be active.
you, that's for sure. Yeah.
And look, I've spent the past 4 years making sure that all that stuff was built on there.
That was positive.
Yeah,
yeah. Not that you have anything negative.
So serious. I mean, even down to, I have one YouTube video, and you'll start to see a lot more. But my past 4 years has been really me honing in on being a business expert. So like you had asked what I teach all business management. So principles of management, business communications. I have a class for business communications right now, international business management, small business management, organizational behavior, like all of that. That's my part. So, just to be able to even associate myself with the university. If you go to my website, you see the things that I like write about. But I'm very intentional. So like I know that what's up there, I'm going to keep on going back over and over and over and over and over. But like the older I get, the more those things mature, the more that there's somebody that was me when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 that needs to hear that information.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna always go back and perfect it. But so I'm speaking to my authenticity of who I am, what I love, what I researched, and I'm building my audience in a natural way. But
bro, that's who we're there for. That's who we're really there for, is the generation that's coming up behind us.
100%.
That's who we're there for. That's who we're like kind of shedding the light for, or sharing things for. It's for them that, have they don't have to agree with everything we say or think, but someone that's a little bit older than them sharing insight that's making them think a little bit, because I mean, each generation has its own challenges that are similar to the generation before them, but also ones that are different. But you can always learn from all the people that are coming across before, especially if they're not that much older than you, because then their experiences are tuned into a world that's not that different from the worlds that you're tuned into. So it's
learn, apply, and teach.
Learn, and it's comforting too. Like I always find like, other people's experiences and insight to be comforting, because it makes me think, all right, like even if I go through something really terrible and somebody else is like, oh, I'm like, oh, that's really funny. Oh, I go through that too. Okay, good. I'm glad that not that I want them to go through something, but it's comforting that the experience does not only exist, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, and it's kind of like, it just kind of relaxes you somehow. Like you're like, oh, okay. So yeah, they're working through that. I can too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's that sort of thing, you
Hmm.
know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So all right. So well, it's been beautiful getting to meet you and getting to visit with you. And you're just fabulous and very smart and impressive. I would actually love to say hi to the lady of the house at some point too, so I can like
Yes,
put a
yes,
face
yes.
to the to the in,
100%.
to the this person who's impressing so much upon you.
100.
I think
Hey,
that's a
look,
really, really cool thing.
she's got
Um,
an hour. She's got an hour until she probably gets out and active anyway. So.
Yeah. So I think love is a great thing. I think that everybody needs that support.
Mhm.
It's not, you do, because you'll go crazy if sometimes if you don't, it makes a difference.
Yes.
So I think that the fact that you have that and you have somebody else that's like brilliant that your head can lean on and your head can think with in times of stress or whatever will definitely keep your blood pressure lower.
Look, that's why
So
you go to the gym.
yes, I also going to the gym and eating well does that. So God bless you, sir.
Yes, yes. God
Thank
bless you as
you.
well.
Thank you for having this convo with me. And I'll be in touch. We'll just talk another time. I'll send you an email, text to you, whatever. We'll just figure something else out. All
Okay,
right.
okay, okay.
All
Yeah,
right. God
yeah.
bless you, sir.
Send me a or send me a direct email just so like don't
So
so
you
it's not
actually
through
know
the
my
Craigslist.
name and my email. I will do that. Sorry
Yeah,
that
yeah,
Craigslist
yeah, yeah,
doesn't do that. Craigslist
yeah,
does that to protect us against, like, I don't know, just to protect, whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I'll
Well, yeah.
definitely do
I
that.
just I went through the ad anyway. Like it shows your email, but I just used like I use their system, so it's probably the way I'm doing it more than
Hmm.
like it might not be that way for everywhere. Like
Hmm.
I could probably copy your email and then just reply directly to you. I'm
Hmm.
just going through Craigslist.
Hmm.
So it's just, I think it's that way. But either way, just so I have your email and it's not like a Craigslist ad coming up, I can like readily identify
Hmm.
your address and all that. All
Okay.
right.
All right.
All right.
No problem. Thank
Well,
you. Have a
great
good day. Have a
conversation.
great
And
rest of
yeah,
the
don't
weekend.
hesitate to reach out. All right. Have a
Sounds
great
good.
one.
Bye bye.
See you.